Tennis star Alex Eala, but world number 2 Elena Rybakina proved too strong in the third round of the Italian Open. Rybakina defeated Eala in straight sets, 6-4, 6.
The Rome drama in 0-1 saw coming. Alex Eala's heartbreaking secret, Svitolina's stunning run, and the Italian Open final showdown that has the tennis world on fire.
Elena Svitolina summoned something special under the Roman nights. Iga Świątek knows what it takes to triumph in the Eternal City.
Hold on to your rackets, tennis fans, because the 2026 Italian Open just delivered one of the most emotionally charged, jaw-dropping weeks in recent WTA memory, and we are only just getting started.
Tennis star Alex Eala, but world number 2 Elena Rybakina proved too strong in the third round of the Italian Open. Rybakina defeated Eala in straight sets, 6-4, 6-3, ending.
From a tearful courtside confession that broke millions of hearts worldwide, to a Ukrainian warrior dismantling the world's best player in 3 breathtaking sets.
Strong hitting from Eala, second break, and she leads by 3 games to love.
Rome has once again reminded us exactly why we fall in love with this sport over and over again. Welcome to Champions Tennisitics, and today we are diving deep into everything unfolding at the Foro Italico, because trust us, you do not want to miss a single word of this. Let's start where the emotions hit hardest. Let's start with Alexandra Eala. If you watched the post-match interview following Alex Eala's 6-4, 6-3 defeat to Elena Rybakina at the 2026 Italian Open, there is a very good chance you had to reach for a tissue. Because what unfolded in those raw, unscripted moments after the final point was struck was not just a tennis player accepting a loss. It was something far more human, far more moving, and far more powerful than any scoreline could ever capture.
Now top 50 in the world. She just reached a career-high WTA ranking of number 49, jumping 4 spots from her end of 2025 ranking of...
Alex Eala, the young Filipino sensation who has taken the tennis world by storm with her fearless game, her infectious personality, and her almost supernatural ability to compete on the biggest stages of this sport, walked up to that microphone and did something that very few athletes have the courage to do. She did not deflect. She did not make excuses. She did not point to the conditions, the opponent, the draw, or anything outside of herself. Instead, she looked directly into the camera, visibly fighting back tears that were clearly threatening to overwhelm her at any moment. And she said the words that immediately sent shockwaves across every tennis forum, every social media platform, and every fan group on the planet. Today I did not play well. I disappointed everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't bring joy to the fans. Read that again. Let it sink in. This is a young woman, still in the early chapters of what promises to be an extraordinary career, standing in front of a crowd at one of the most prestigious clay court events in the world, and her first instinct is not self-preservation. Her first instinct is to apologize to the people who came to watch her, to the fans who traveled, who stayed up late, who set alarms in the middle of the night across Asia and beyond just to catch a glimpse of their champion competing on European soil. And the internet absolutely lost its mind, not in anger, not in disappointment, but in an outpouring of love so overwhelming it is still trending days later. But here is where the story takes an even more gut-wrenching turn. Here is where what was already an emotional moment became something that had people genuinely in tears across every corner of the globe. Alex's coach, Joan Bosch, stepped forward in the aftermath of that defeat and revealed the truth that Alex herself had never breathed a single public word about. The truth that explains so much about what we saw on court that afternoon. According to Bosch, Alex Eala had been silently, privately, stubbornly enduring significant physical pain throughout the entire duration of this tournament. Not a minor niggle. Not the kind of slight discomfort that every professional athlete plays through on a weekly basis and shrugs off with a sports drink and an ice pack. Significant physical pain. The kind that would make most of us call in sick, pull out of commitments, and spend a day on the couch feeling sorry for ourselves. Alex Eala did none of that. She showed up. Every single day. She competed with everything she had. She fought through whatever her body was putting her through, and she did it all without uttering a single public complaint, without using it as a shield against criticism, without even hinting that anything was wrong. She simply played, gave everything, and when it wasn't enough, She stood at that microphone and took the full weight of the result onto her own young shoulders. The contrast between what Alex said publicly and what was happening privately is what has truly devastated her fan base. Because in a sports world that is increasingly filled with managed narratives, carefully crafted PR responses, and athletes who retreat behind a wall of publicists and social media, teams the moment things get difficult. What Alex Eala showed in Rome was something refreshingly, painfully, beautifully real. She was hurting, physically and emotionally, and she still showed up and apologized for not doing more. Social media has been absolutely flooded since that interview. Messages of support, prayers, and encouragement are pouring in from the Philippines, from across Asia, from tennis fans worldwide who have watched this teenager grow into one of the most compelling young players on the tour. The hashtags are running hot. The fan pages are overwhelmed. And the overwhelming sentiment, from casual viewers to die-hard tennis obsessives, is not disappointment in Eala's result. It is fierce, protective admiration for her character. Fans are not angry that she lost. They are heartbroken that she was hurting and nobody knew. They are rallying around her with the kind of energy that makes you remember why sports fandom, at its absolute best, is one of the most genuine forms of community human beings can create. Elena Rybakina, for her part, was clinical and composed in the way that only Rybakina can be. The Kazakh powerhouse, whose serve remains arguably the most lethal weapon in women's tennis right now, executed her game plan with the cool efficiency that has made her one of the most feared competitors on any surface. A 6-4, 6-3 scoreline is convincing without being a demolition, and given what we now know about Eala's physical condition, the fact that Alex pushed her to those kinds of margins while carrying that kind of burden is actually a testament to the young Filipino's extraordinary competitive spirit. Now let us talk about the other story that has the Foro Italico buzzing, vibrating, and absolutely electric with excitement. Because while the Eala situation captured hearts and pulled at emotions, what Elena Svitolina has been doing in Rome this fortnight has captured something else entirely: imaginations, jaws, and quite possibly history. Elena Svitolina is doing it again. And when we say doing it again, we want you to understand the full weight of those words. This is a woman who has faced adversities that go so far beyond tennis that it almost feels inappropriate to discuss her career without first acknowledging the extraordinary strength of character she has had to summon just to keep competing at the highest level. She has played through personal loss. She has competed while carrying the weight of an entire nation on her shoulders through unimaginable geopolitical circumstances. She has returned from maternity leave, rebuilt her game, rediscovered her belief, and she has done all of it while never losing the fire that makes her one of the most compelling competitors women's tennis has ever produced. And in Rome in 2026, that fire is burning at an intensity that is genuinely breathtaking to witness. Svitolina's victory over Iga Swiatek in the semifinals was not just a win. It was a statement, a declaration, a full-throated announcement to the entire tennis world that the Ukrainian warrior is not just here to participate. She is here to dominate, to compete for titles, to remind everyone that when she is switched on and playing her best tennis, she is capable of beating absolutely anyone on this planet. Let us set the scene for those of you who missed this match, because you absolutely need to understand what happened here. Iga Swiatek, for those somehow unfamiliar, is a 5-time Grand Slam champion, a multiple-time world number 1, a player who has been the undisputed queen of clay court tennis for the better part of the last half-decade. Beating Iga Swiatek on clay, in a tournament like Rome, is not a small thing. It is not an upset you file away quietly and move on from. It is a scalp that reverberates throughout the sport, that sends shockwaves through every locker room, every coach's box, and every ranking calculation in the game. And Svitolina did not just beat her. She took her to 3 sets in a thrilling, dramatic, absolutely riveting contest that had every spectator at the Foro Italico on their feet, and had everyone watching on screens around the world absolutely glued to whatever device was in their hands. 3 sets, the full distance, every point contested, every game a battle, every break of serve feeling like it could swing the entire match in either direction at any moment. This is the kind of tennis that reminds you why clay court season is genuinely special. The rallies are longer. The points are harder earned. The physical demands are brutal. The mental requirements are relentless. And when two elite competitors of this caliber go out onto a clay court in Rome and fight through 3 sets with everything they have, what emerges is something close to sporting poetry. Svitolina won, and in winning, she has now set up what promises to be one of the most tantalizing finals in recent WTA memory, because standing across the net in that Rome final is none other than Coco Gauff. Yes, you heard that correctly. Coco Gauff, the American star, the reigning US Open champion, the young powerhouse who has been steadily, methodically, unmistakably announcing her intention to collect every major title that women's tennis has to offer, has marched through the draw in Rome with the kind of focused, purposeful tennis that should have every other player on the tour looking over their shoulder. Gauff at her best is a genuinely frightening proposition. A player who combines physical power with tactical intelligence, who has a serve that can end points before they begin, a forehand that can do things with a tennis ball that defy reasonable expectation, and a competitive mindset that has been forged in the crucible of the biggest matches and the highest pressure moments the sport can produce. Svitolina versus Gauff in the Rome final. Take a moment. Let that marinate. Because this is exactly the kind of match that reminds casual tennis observers why they should be paying close attention to this sport, and reminds die-hard fans exactly why they have been following it their entire lives. On paper, it is a clash of generations. The experienced, battle-hardened veteran who has seen everything this sport can throw at a player, against the explosive young champion who plays with the combination of freedom and ferocity that only the truly elite can sustain at the very top level. On clay, in Rome, with a title on the line, these two athletes are going to produce something that people will be talking about for a very long time. But here is the question that is dominating every tennis conversation right now. Can Svitolina win her 3rd Rome title? Because let us be very clear about what that would mean. It would not just be another tournament victory for a player who has already had a remarkable career. It would be a defining moment, a crowning achievement that would cement her legacy at this particular tournament in a way that very few players in the modern era have managed. 3 Rome titles. It would place her in genuinely rare company, and it would serve as the most emphatic possible answer to anyone who has ever suggested that the best days of Svitolina's career are behind her. If anything, the woman playing in Rome right now looks like she is just getting started. She is moving beautifully. She is reading the game with the kind of clarity and intelligence that only comes from years of experience at the highest level. She is executing her game plan with precision and adjusting mid-match with the fluidity of someone who has total trust in both herself and her team. And most importantly, she is competing with a hunger, a desire, a relentless competitive drive that makes it genuinely difficult to bet against her regardless of the opponent, the surface, or the occasion. Meanwhile, Gauff will be approaching this final with her own set of motivations that make her a genuinely dangerous opponent. She has been building through this tournament, finding her rhythm on the clay, adding layers to her game with each match. There is a sense with Gauff that she is always learning, always evolving, always becoming a slightly better tennis player than she was the week before. That process of constant improvement, combined with the raw talent she possesses and the experience she has already accumulated at an age when most players are still trying to break into the top 50, makes her a terrifying proposition for any opponent. She will not be intimidated by the occasion. She will not be overwhelmed by the atmosphere. She has played in Grand Slam finals. She has competed on the biggest stages this sport offers and held her nerve when it mattered most. A WTA 1000 final in Rome, as prestigious and as meaningful as it undoubtedly is a stage she is built for. So how does this final play out? The honest answer is that nobody knows, and that uncertainty is precisely what makes it so compelling. Svitolina's experience and her specific love for this particular tournament gives her an intangible edge that is difficult to quantify but impossible to dismiss. Gauff's physical power and her ability to dictate points from the baseline is a weapon that causes problems for absolutely every player she faces, including veterans with Svitolina's experience and tactical sophistication. Clay court tennis at this level often comes down to who wants it more on any given day, who can sustain their intensity across 3 sets, who can execute in the crucial moments when the pressure is at its absolute peak and the margin for error has shrunk to almost nothing. Both of these women have demonstrated conclusively that they belong in that conversation. Both of them are capable of producing the quality required to win this title. What we can say with absolute certainty is that this final is going to be unmissable. If you have any interest in tennis whatsoever, if you have been following this Italian Open and the extraordinary drama that has unfolded across every match and every storyline this week, then you need to make sure you are watching when Svitolina and Gauff walk onto that clay court and begin to write the final chapter of the 2026 Rome story. And what a story it has been. From Eala's silent suffering and her heartbreaking post-match moment that reminded the entire world what genuine sportsmanship looks like, to Rybakina's clinical dominance, to Svitolina's breathtaking 3-set victory over Swiatek that sent the Foro Italico into absolute delirium, to the anticipation now building around a final that has all the ingredients to be one of the most memorable matches of the entire WTA season. Rome in 2026 has delivered at every single turn, on every single level, in every single way that a great tennis tournament possibly can. Eala will recover. She is young, she is talented beyond measure, and she has the character of a champion, the kind of character that cannot be coached, cannot be manufactured, and cannot be faked. Her response to that defeat, the grace and the honesty and the raw humanity of it, tells you everything you need to know about the kind of player she is going to be for the next decade and beyond. The physical pain she was carrying will heal. The love her fans showed her in the aftermath of that interview will last considerably longer. And when she returns to the court healthy, fully fit, and firing on all cylinders, every player on the WTA Tour should be on notice. Because that version of Eala, the one we have seen glimpses of all year, the one that earned her this spot competing at events like the Italian Open in the first place, that version is going to be extraordinary. As for Rome itself, the Eternal City has once again proven that it has a special kind of magic when it comes to tennis. There is something about this tournament, about this venue, about the particular energy of the Foro Italico with the clay courts and the Roman history and the passionate Italian crowds that seems to draw out the very best and the very most dramatic in every player. Year after year, Rome delivers storylines that nobody could have scripted, moments that nobody saw coming, tennis that reminds you why this sport has been captivating audiences around the world for over a century. The 2026 Italian Open is not finished yet. There is still one more chapter to be written, one more match to be played, one more champion to be crowned. And if everything that has come before it is any indication, that final chapter is going to be something truly special. Svitolina chasing history, Gauff chasing another title, Rome holding its breath. We will be watching every second of it, and you should be too. That is everything for today's breakdown here on Champions Tennisitics. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, first of all, thank you. It genuinely means everything to us that you invest your time here. This channel exists because of the passion of tennis fans like you, and every view, every comment, every subscription helps us keep bringing you the kind of deep, engaged tennis coverage that goes beyond the scoreboards and gets to the heart of what makes this sport so endlessly, magnificently fascinating. So if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button right now. It helps more tennis fans find this content and keeps this community growing. Drop your predictions for the Rome final in the comments below. We want to know, are you riding with Svitolina for that historic third title, or do you think Gauff is about to announce herself as Rome's newest champion? And if you are not yet subscribed to Champions Tennisitics, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a single update as this incredible Italian Open story reaches its unforgettable conclusion. We will see you for the final. Do not go anywhere.